The other day, I was lucky enough to head into an event where I got to go hands-on with the new 2DS XL, as well as Ever Oasis, Hey Pikmin, and Miitopia. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you about my time with those games. There's gonna be some footage of games spliced in with the trailers for stuff that you've already seen, but it's B-roll footage from Nintendo to go along with my own impressions. So I think I'll start with the new 2DS XL first. So altogether, I spent about 2 hours, if not more, playing the new 2DS XL. That was the only version of the 3DS that was there to play because this event was kind of to promote the new 2DS XL and let people get hands-on with it. So I put in a good amount of time with it, and I can tell you that I really like it. The thing that surprised me the most, by far above all else, was how light the system was. It was shockingly light. Like, I was really surprised when I picked it up just how light the system was. And this was with it being tethered to the table that was in front of me. They have like a little metal block on it with a tether so you can't like run away with the device. So there was still some added heft to it because of that. So when you take that away, it should be even lighter. It was ridiculously light. It was really surprising to me. And I'm never holding my 3DS and I'm like, oh god, this thing's so heavy. But still, noticeable difference in weight makes it more portable friendly, obviously, because you're not lugging around as much weight. But yeah, it felt really good in the hands. Everything worked fine. It felt like a 3DS to me. Obviously, it feels closer to a 3DS than a 2DS. But yeah, it was really nice. I can't really tell you too much about the audio of the device because I was in a room with a bunch of other people playing games, and they had music playing there as well. So I could hear audio, but you can't really get a good sense for what it sounds like when you're sitting at home by yourself. And I'm talking about, obviously, when you're not using headphones, just the speakers on the system. What I can tell you is when I had the volume up full blast, I could actually feel the audio in the device. So that's not something I really notice on the new 3DS XL or any of the 3DS line that I can think of. I haven't really put in a lot of time with the 2DS because I don't have one. But with the new 2DS XL, I noticed it quite a bit. You could feel the game's audio coming through the system. So while I was holding it, I felt like, I don't want to say the vibrations of the audio, but I could feel the sound coming through the system. So I had the audio on full blast, like I said, so I don't know if that's going to be an issue for some people or not, but felt it was worth bringing it up. Also, if you were wondering, the back texture on the closed screen of the new 2DS XL may look like it's rubber, but it's not. It's just a design in plastic. And that's the other thing about the system. It does feel really nice and it looks really nice, but it just feels, there's no other way to say it. It feels cheaper. And I don't want to say that as a knock, but it doesn't feel as high quality as the new 3DS or the new 3DS XL. And obviously, it falls more in line with the 2DS because the 2DS itself felt a little cheaper. And I hate saying cheaper because it sounds like a negative thing, but it just feels different. It doesn't have the same heft or overall feeling to it as the other 3DSs in the lineup. But that said, I really like the device, and obviously that feeling is bleeding into how much the system weighs. So I really enjoyed my time with it. I have no complaints about the buttons or the joysticks or anything like that. Nothing stuck out as like, oh, this feels different or weird or doesn't feel like it's working right or feels like it's gonna break. Nothing like that at all. It felt really nice, and I enjoyed my time with it, and I can tell you personally, while I didn't pick up a 2DS, I'm gonna pick up one of these. I liked it enough to add it into my collection, and I also liked it enough to transition it over to being my main portable, like my main version of the 3DS, so I'm all in on it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I spent over 2 hours with the new 2DS XL, and a majority of that time was spent with Ever Oasis and Hey Pikmin. So I'm going to talk about Ever Oasis first. You've already seen what that is, and you've gotten a good idea what the gameplay is like, but this was my first hands-on with it, and I want to tell you what I thought. So Ever Oasis, for all intents and purposes, is like a traditional Zelda game, Zelda before Breath of the Wild. You fight enemies and go into dungeons and have to solve puzzles and explore, and sometimes you need to defeat a certain amount of enemies to open up a path ahead. So all ideas and elements that are very familiar to Zelda fans. For example, without spoiling things, one part in a dungeon has this giant boulder that you need to get rid of in order to continue ahead. And it's up to you to figure out how to do that. So you need to use the characters you have and their abilities to what you eventually find is there's a bomb in there, but you need to figure out how to get the bomb over to this boulder to blow it up, and that's a puzzle in and of itself. So dungeons are littered with that kind of stuff, and Zelda fans should be very familiar with how to handle those things and what to expect. So if you're into more traditional Zelda games, you should really like what you get in Ever Oasis. Obviously, there's much more to it than that, like the ability to swap between characters. So as you're playing, you have, or at least in my party when I was playing, I had 3 characters, and each character has different strengths and weaknesses and different abilities as well. So, for example, the main character, I guess, he has the ability to basically throw like a tornado out in front of him, and this can definitely impact enemies and stuff like that. But it also can be used in solving puzzles and moving things around. And each character has something unique like that. So when you are going through dungeons and looking to solve puzzles, you'll need to utilize all the characters you have with you to get to the exit, and also to get to perhaps side rooms and stuff like that. And you might find that you may not have a character that you need, or you may not have a character that has an ability that you need. So there are portions in dungeons where you can warp out to a town and swap a character if need be for someone that has an ability you think will help solve a puzzle. So it's going to be really unique going through these dungeons when they get more elaborate, obviously, to take in one cast of characters and see what else you need, and then go in like with a second round of characters for another sweep to pick up some things you may not have grabbed on the first time. So there's definitely going to be replayability and unique twists based on who you're playing as, who's in your party, and how much you're interested in picking up extra content. Then there's the whole town building element, which we really didn't get to sink our teeth into too much in the demo, because the demo's focus was a dungeon, getting to the dungeon, and then a side quest within the dungeon. So we didn't get too much. You need to put in a lot more time with the game to experience the town building aspect. But to my understanding, that's a major portion of the game, and we've seen that in other trailers and developer blogs and stuff like that too. But for example, there was someone in a town who wanted me to do something. I think they wanted me to find something in one of the in the dungeon that I was going to, and I did find it, and I went back to the town, and they were happy that I found it, obviously, and that fulfilled the sub quest. And then they decided to stay in the town, and then the more people that stay in the town, the more things that open up in the town, different shops and stuff like that. So obviously you'll be able to get more items to take with you on your quests and new abilities and stuff like that. So, like I said, I didn't get to sink my teeth into that stuff too much just because of the nature of the demo session, but it's very clear that a lot of the side missions are going to be there to help grow the different places that you visit, including the hometown. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of quests they put in there and how elaborate they get just to get villagers to join in. The next title I went on to was Hey Pikmin, and I am a huge Pikmin fan and was very excited for this game. And then I found out Arzest was behind development, and my excitement dropped quite a bit, because Arzest I think to be pretty hit and miss with their titles. But I can happily tell you that I spent time playing 3 different missions in this demo, because, again, that's what I was allowed to play. And I was really into it. I really liked what I played. I was very impressed with it. And I'm very excited to jump back into it. From what I played, all the important parts of a Pikmin game are there. It feels like a Pikmin game because of it. So obviously Pikmin are the main part of the game, and you have to find them, and you use them to open up paths, and you use them to fight enemies, and it's still really sad when they die, but you use them as Olimar. And the controls for the game are really simple. So you use the circle pad to move, and you use the stylus to throw Pikmin. And there's like there's an icon on the screen for the whistle to call Pikmin. But other than that, I mean, that's all that I was using when I played, and that's pretty damn simple. And the move from being, you know, overhead 3D to 2D side-scrolling really doesn't change the experience all that much. The enemy battles are, they may be a little simplified from what I played, but, you know, in traditional Pikmin games, you're just throwing Pikmin at enemies and you kill them, or they throw you off and they attack you. That's what was going on here. It's just that I was in the early levels, so the enemies were a bit easier. But you just put your stylus on a touchscreen and you tap wherever you want to throw them, and they go and they do it. So you do that, and you are always on the lookout for items that are hidden in the environment. Sometimes there's secret passages you can climb through, and other times you'll see items tucked in levels that you need to figure out how to get to if you're trying to collect things. And it seems like there might be 3 items in each stage to collect based on the option screens that I was seeing. So like a level had a harmonica in it, or an electric toothbrush or stuff like that. And you don't have to carry them back to your ship because you're not going back to your ship at the end of the level. The end of each level, or the end of the levels I played, was the little Pikmin pods where the Pikmins go in and stay safe for the night. So when they do collect an item, they bring it to you. You touch the item and it collects it for you. And yes, the items still have funny names based on, you know, what they are, because Olimar doesn't know what the hell an electric toothbrush is, so it's called something different. But yeah, it feels like a Pikmin game, and it feels really good. It played really well. I mean, I had all the feelings that I have during a Pikmin game when playing Hey Pikmin. I was scared for the Pikmin. I was really cautious. I was really into the exploration elements of it. It's just now, like I said, you're doing left to right, and obviously up and down, because this is a 2D side-scroller that goes all over the place. And as you may have seen from the footage, it uses both screens to make one giant screen. So some of the enemies that you go up against can take up both screens. There's an underwater level where these big, I don't know what they are, worms or whatever, come from the bottom screen and spin all the way up to the top screen. And you have to quickly swim by them to make sure your Pikmin don't get hit by them. And then, you know, you're also collecting fruit and stuff like that when you find them, and you're obviously hoping to make it to the goal with all your Pikmin intact, and you get rewards for doing that. And then there's other little objectives and levels too that you probably won't get the first time through, but you read about them at the end of each level. So it's good. There's good reason to go back into each level and hunt stuff down for, you know, whatever it may be, all the Pikmin, all the fruit, the 3 items, or whatever the new objective is that you see at the end of the level. So plenty of reasons to go back. And then from what I played, you know, there was a variety of levels. There was an underwater level, just a basic like grass level, and there was a cave style level as well. So yeah, I went from being really excited when I first heard it to being really worried when I heard who was making it, and now that I've played it, I'm really chomping at the bit to play it. I was super impressed with it. I loved my time with Ever Oasis, but Hey Pikmin is definitely my favorite of the day. Then finally there's Miitopia, the one we know the most about because it's been out in Japan for a long time now. And when we were at this event, our event before we got to play anything started off with a demonstration of someone playing Miitopia. It was a lengthy demonstration of what the game is, what it does, what you do, all that stuff. So when I actually did get time to play it, I spent the least amount of time playing it because all I did was do what I saw the person demonstrate, and that was it really. For those that don't know, Miitopia is an RPG. It's pretty much a bare bones RPG where you take out your friends, and your friends are Miis that are on your 3DS, and you take them out on a grand adventure. And if you don't have too many Miis on your system, Nintendo's going to have an option where you can download Miis through a server that's going to be free. So you'll be able to populate your system with a certain amount of Miis and different types of Miis and stuff like that. So it's not like you can't play this game if you don't have Miis on your 3DS. Don't worry about that. But yeah, the experience is a rather simple RPG. You just go out and explore like this world map. So there's dots on a world map. You go to each dot, and your characters will run through a landscape or walk through a landscape, but you can hold a button to run, and they talk to each other and have little funny conversations. And then random battles happen. And, you know, it's pretty much you use a regular attack, you use a magic attack or a skill, and that's all there is to it. You know, regular RPG stuff. It shouldn't be unfamiliar to anybody that's played even one RPG. You should get what's going on here. But the unique twists come from the fact you are using Miis, and the bonds that you form with these Miis affect how they operate on the battlefield. And when you're in inns, you can feed Miis different foods to boost certain stats, and you can also have conversations with Miis in the inn. So you bring your party to the inn, and you know, you'll have social moments with these Miis, and they can up your relationship. So if you have a very strong relationship between two Miis, they when you get out on the battlefield, that Mii that you're friends with or really close with might try and do something to really impress you. So they could come up with a move that no other Mii is going to be able to do because they share a special bond with you. So they may do something that jumps into the battle and it lands like a really big blow on the enemy, or it could go the other way too. If you have a bad relationship, they may not be too cooperative out on the battlefield. And that's the other thing. When you are playing, you control your Mii, but the other Miis in your party, when you're out battling, do their own thing. So based on the relationships you have with them, they're going to do different things. And then on top of that, if you have Tomodachi Life save data on your system, the personalities of those Miis can be transferred over. So if you have a Mii from that game that's like doesn't listen or is really lazy or is really grumpy, when you take them out on the battlefield, the chances are they're not going to do too much for you in the way of helping out. So it's going to be really interesting to see how those relationships continue over into Miitopia. And then as well, the relationships that you make with the Miis in Miitopia could make or break your situation out on the battlefield. Miitopia is going to be a really unique situation because I think the amount of fun you have with it is going to depend on what your Mii situation is like. So like I said, you can download Miis, but I really think you're going to get much more enjoyment out of the game if you're using Miis for people that you know and interact with in real life. Like if you're just playing with a random Mii you downloaded from the internet to fill out your party, I don't think you're going to get as much enjoyment as if like you have your close friends or your parents or your uncle and aunt, whatever, their Miis on the system. I think that'll make it a lot more fun. And then, like I said, if you have data from Tomodachi Life for those actual people, then it'll just deepen the experience that much more. So it's gonna be interesting to see the mileage people get out of this game, because you can have wildly different experiences just because you'll read things that characters say and you'll laugh hysterically at it because it's related to real people in life. But you may read that same thing when you're playing with random Miis and you're like, well, whatever, you know, it won't really make an impact. So it's interesting. I want to get hands-on time with the game when I'm playing with my stable of Miis, with people that I know and friends that I hang out with in real life, because I really think that can help shape the adventure into a much more engaging experience. So when the game does come out, hopefully the reviews take that into account, because I think having that real-life aspect there is going to make a big difference. So there you go. That's my impressions of the new 2DS XL, Ever Oasis, Hey Pikmin, and Miitopia. If you have any questions about the games that I've talked about, if you have any questions about the new 2DS XL hardware itself, feel free to leave me those questions in the comments below. I'll be keeping close tabs on the comments you guys leave so I can answer those questions. Like I said, Ever Oasis, I really enjoyed. Hey Pikmin really surprised me, and I'm fully on board with that game. And Miitopia, I need more time with, and I need to use my own Miis. So thanks for listening to me blab on for however long this was, and I will see you soon with another video. Hey guys, RMC here from Go Nintendo. If you like what you saw in the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe? We'd love to have you. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check out GoNintendo.com for 24-hour Nintendo news. You can visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/GoNintendo. You can check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/GoNintendoTweet. And we're even over on Instagram at instagram.com/GoNintendo. I put all the links in the description just to make it easier for you guys to follow. Thanks a lot!